Mo'Casso, and I'm here with one of my favorite hosts, Chy. Chy, to everybody, what's up?
Hey everybody, what's going on? We back at it again with another Raw Talk.
Y'all know how we do, and we've got a full itinerary
Hey.
of all the craziness that's been happening this week. And I swear, every week gets crazier. Like, it's always something that I'm just like, what the heck? I need to drop this in the Discord. And shout out to the Discord, because I've been seeing a lot more community members dropping content, engaging in it, and yeah, it's juicy. And I love that we have that channel in the Discord to be like, have you seen this craziness? And then everybody kind of, being like, man. And then coming here to actually talk about it and keeping it raw. So, Chy, what is on the itinerary today?
Okay, so we have Rihanna received 28.5 million views. We have an asteroid strikes Earth's atmosphere. Damar Hamlin under heat for offensive attire. NFL player Stanley Wilson JR passes at 40. Gifts for IG. Really interesting. Ice Cube reacts to billboard. And lastly, we have Mr. Houston, 40, wife 22, celebrates 3 years of marriage and 10 years a couple. You do the math.
That math ain't mathing for me. It's not mathing for
The
me.
math
So,
is not mathing.
so we
The
we
math is not mathing.
we definitely need to get
I
into
hope they made
this.
a typo error.
And girl, I read the comments. There was some typos. He's actually like 43.
Ooh.
We gonna get into it. Let's get into our first topic right here. What is our first topic for today?
So we do actually have the link. I think you put it in the Discord here if you want to go ahead and pull that up. We talks about let me see. I have to pull it up with you.
About Rihanna. Okay.
So Rihanna just did the Super Bowl. Everyone's talking about it.
Alrighty, so I did get that pulled up here. So it says the
Awesome.
winner of the Super Bowl goes to Rihanna's brand. Rihanna got paid $0 to perform at the Super Bowl halftime by the NFL, but did it for exposure for her brand. And over $2.85 million. Sorry, I got Instagram them popped up, so can't see what it says now, but she got 2.85 million views, I guess, after that. Sorry, 28.5 million views, which is crazy. I was surprised because I was like, what, you didn't get paid for the Super Bowl? But apparently nobody ever gets paid for the Super Bowl because of the amount of exposure that you get, so that's like totally normal.
Yeah, they was just like, we're gonna pay you this way. We're gonna have people tap in to your brand. But like people pay 7 million. They were paying 7 million for ads. So just imagine like if that is just 30 seconds of for $7 million. Just imagine like for her exposure how much her brand is gonna get back for however long her set was. So it's just
And
like,
she was doing her Fenty makeup. They had on her sunglasses.
Mhm.
She was repping all of her stuff.
It was going hard. So, and she just announced that she's pregnant again. So
What?
it's just like now it's just causing like a brand frenzy, and it's just like that's great for her. So
Hmm.
yeah, she got a lot going on. She's like the hottest topic. She will be for probably for a little while, and then it will just die down. But besides that, yeah, like you like advertisement is way more valuable than actually receiving money. Because I'm like, she's already wealthy, so it's like exposure is gonna make me wealthier, not just getting like paid. So
Yeah, and that was one of those things I had seen somebody talking of saying like you can never be too big to do something for free for exposure, right? Because again, you get a new audience, people that you wouldn't have that reach to. Something that we were just talking about before this, right? Like we have these amazing conversations. We have so many different podcasts and things that we produce or rawcasts that we do here in the P2d RAW network. But again, it's just that exposure, right? Getting it out to different people that are interested in this kind of stuff, so you can see how being in that kind of situation and in front of those kind of people, that's what helps. So very interesting. I was definitely thinking she was about to bring somebody out, but at the end of the day, she definitely didn't need it. Her and her whole brand held it down. It was epic. I definitely recorded it and have been enjoying the Rihanna private concert by myself many times since.
Yeah, cause
I
you like
bootlegged it.
Rihanna. No?
I love Rihanna, and
You,
I have recorded it
like,
when she okay when she started when she started performing. I was like, let me record this, so I got it forever, and it was cool. I've been enjoying it.
I haven't listened to like a Rihanna song. Well, she hasn't put out anything in forever, but I don't remember the last time I listened to like one of some of her music.
You want to know something really funny? Okay, I just seen Tiny said I am in love with Rihanna. I was just about to mention Tiny too. Fun freaking fact. One time, I don't even know how me and Tiny was talking about Rihanna, but we was talking about Rihanna, and I was like, oh my gosh, I went to this Rihanna concert when I was young. And then Tiny was like, oh my God, I went to this Rihanna concert when I was young. Whole time we was at the same freaking Rihanna concert when we was younger. And
that
then,
is crazy.
It is. But then we came, and so when the Super Bowl was happening, she popped in, like, because we were streaming the whole Super Bowl, but halftime came, so she popped in to watch. And I'm like, Tiny, this is just like the last Rihanna concert when we were watching it together, but now we're here knowing each other and in the metaverse watching it again together. So it was like crazy, and I think it's really cool.
That's so cool.
Right? Really cool how the freaking metaverse brings things full circle like that. So fun.
And it's a small world. That part.
That part.
That part.
So yes.
7 billion people.
Right? I see Tiny in the comments said, yes, lit. Now we need to do an IRL concert again as BFFs. Definitely agree. Already been thinking about it like, man, when the Raw squad link up, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. So, Chy, what else we got on the list? Our itinerary for today.
All right, so our next topic is going to be an asteroid strikes Earth's atmosphere. Supposedly in France. It was like a big flash of light. I think we sent in the link.
Oh yes, let me get my link. So let me see. Here we are.
Oh man, I think it's on Twitter.
It is. And like luckily I can play a little video for y'all. So let me play this little video so you can see here what we talking about. Okay, or it's going to load here slowly. Maybe it's a little, here we go. Okay, y'all see, that was supposedly the asteroid. And that's it.
Wow.
Yeah, interesting. When I seen Soulja Boy post about the sun today and a ring around it, I was like, y'all got to chill out. Like, y'all going too far with this now.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, Soulja Boy, he was like, let me see if I could find that one here on Twitter as well.
Soulja Boy do anything and anything.
I'm trying to tell you, and it's crazy because, I mean, they've been having all these crazy sightings. I didn't even see the thing about the UFOs, but apparently there's UFOs everywhere, and there's AI, and it's like, okay, we got the aliens, we got the robots. I'm like, what's really going on right here? My brain can't dissect all of this on what's really happening.
That's funny. Because they were talking about, I was listening to the radio, which I rarely do. Because I like to ride around and enjoy my own music, but I like listening to the radio because I heard Chris Brown and Big Boy. So I was just like, I guess they had an interview where they talked about where Chris Brown said that he believes like aliens are like walking among us. And funny thing is, I told my barber about it. I was like, so tell me the truth. Are you an alien? He's like, are you? And we just started busting out laughing because it's just like, okay, obviously we know like we're not alone, but it's just like, why y'all doing all this stuff to like distract like what's really going on? Like y'all
Yeah.
really pulling out all the stunts for real,
Right.
and getting like everybody to talk about it, and like boom, distraction, and it's like, okay, so what's really going on, and what's the tea? What do we really need to know?
And Chai, you've been in Nevada. We already know about the cities and all the places where everybody be at and don't nobody talk about. Okay, so I already know we
Exactly.
all cold in here. Okay, so you ain't. I'm not one of those that you gonna tell me otherwise. That we just the only ones right here. But like you said, but all the stops are coming out. Like I said, when I seen Soldier Boy out here, like, oh my God, look at the sun. I was like, that's enough. Like. We need to get to the bottom. We need to get to the bottom
like,
of what's happening.
Soldier Boy's just like, if Soldier Boy come out and say something, you know it's just like, okay, y'all, like, it's over. Let's clap for the performance. Woo! Okay, now, what's really going on?
I'm trying to tell you. So interesting stuff that I know we got a few people in the house. Welcome everyone. There's been so many, like we said, crazy sightings with UFOs, aliens, asteroids, the sun, chemicals. Does anybody have any raw thoughts that they would like to share about what the heck is really going on?
Yeah, like what's really going on, y'all? What y'all think?
Let us know. And y'all in the comments too, because we be reading them and we want to know. And if y'all got to think about it, that's cool. We're going to be back next Saturday, 4 p.m. Pacific time again, talking about all this week's trending topics. So make sure you leave your thoughts. We also have our Discord channel where we continue to talk about this stuff. So if you want to chat it in there, feel free. Otherwise, I haven't heard anybody unmute. So, Chai, what is the next topic on today's itinerary?
Okay, the next topic is going to be Damar Hamlin under heat for offensive attire. So, and the reason why I put it in parentheses is because it's just like everyone has like a different type of trigger and a offense going on lately, where a lot of people are triggered by different things, and I guess he was under heat for wearing like a Letterman style jacket with like a crucified SpongeBob on the back of his jacket. And what was the man's name? I didn't put his name in here. Let me see. Adrian Peterson said like that's not cool. So let me actually pull it up here. Let's see. And Shiva actually put this in the Raw Talk, so shout out to Shiva.
Okay, let me bring that up here on the
putting this in here.
Let me bring that up on the Discord then. Let me see. Oh, here we are. I do see that here. So everybody watching, if you're in our space, if you're sitting down on the couch downstairs, you should be able to see the screen. As you guys can see, this is Adrian Peterson. Let me see. Oh, criticizing. Okay. Oh, wow. That is a very odd picture. Okay, let me see.
Yeah, I don't understand what he was trying to get at, like, but I guess some people took offense to it, and I can actually read the statement that Adrian Peterson wrote about. He says, so I spoke with Damar and we were able to discuss our thoughts as men. I want to be clear, I'm not the last person to judge anyone, and that was never my intention. However, I do feel as if the jacket was disrespectful and it was something that I needed to share. I do realize everyone makes mistakes and falls short at times, so again, my intention was never to judge, just to share my opinion. Damar, I have respect and love for you for you, and I wish you nothing but the best, but I just can't rock with that jacket. I feel like there are a lot of people, young and old, looking up to you. With power and influence comes great responsibility. I apologize for offending you. I just feel offended in that moment as a man who loves and respects our Lord and Savior, Yahshua. After speaking with Damar, I have an understanding that it didn't come from a place of ill intent.
And that's why people should mind their business sometimes.
Oh, and there it goes. There it goes, y'all. Because I was thinking the same exact thing. It's just like, that's your Lord and Savior.
Right.
And we're not going to touch on religion too heavy, but it's just like, it just feels like everyone has an opinion about something, and something's like always offensive. Now, it's just downright disrespectful. Like, to me personally, that's different. But in that case, it's just like, it's whoever wants to feel offended by it. So, I guess like he felt some type of way, and I was just like, at the end of the day, like, it's a jacket. So
And I know X is over here about to unmute because he wants to add as well. So I'll let you go ahead and speak, X.
I'm just gonna say, like, Super Bowl is typically a time for NFL players to get like they last little checks before the off season. So it's like that whole week, players are advertised and they're sponsored, and it's like most of the things they wear, or damn near everything they wear, especially somebody like him who has what he got going on with all the attention, is like they paid him to wear that jacket. So it's like, and a person like Adrian Peterson, who's been famous and in the NFL and knows he got paid to wear that jacket, it's like, why attack Damar when you know he just getting a check to eat at the end of the day? And then nobody could really cast a stone because it'd be like AP ruined a Hall of Fame career for beating his kids. So it's like, it kind of piggybacks off like how Blueface or the Chris Brown Blueface, like, oh, I got punished, so the next man should get punished, or just, you know, just them type of kitty games.
And that's raw. Because like you said, at the end of the day, they already know, oh, Super Bowl happened. He somebody say, hey, this is my jacket, wear it. You know, I got a brand, X, Y, and Z, and everybody know that. And then, like he said, the person who's calling him out is mad because they got in trouble. So they just trying to put somebody else in that hot seat. And it's crazy. And that's why I
that's
said,
crazy.
you feel me? And that's why I said, hey, we got to mind our business. Cause
And
like,
then he reached out to him,
mm-hmm.
and he was just like, oh, it wasn't ill intent, and it's just like, it's not for me to judge. But why should you share your opinion either? Like, nobody told you to share this, just like nobody told you to judge, but you still felt free and you still made a choice to do so. So it's just like, that was had to do with him personally. And
Right.
like X said, like, that ain't had nothing to do with the jacket.
Right.
It was just the fact that he wanted to say what he wanted to say because he couldn't get away with his shit.
Right. Exactly. So
That's crazy. That's petty. And we still be back in the same predicament, and then be wondering why, what?
okay, I see Shiva dropping some spicy chili peppers. It do be spicy. You know, people be really spicy with trying to get clickbait, especially when you know, oh, you got a little attention. Like, what you about to do with that attention? And I think it's always interesting to see what people choose to do when they have that spotlight. So very interesting. Chai, what's the next thing on our itinerary for today?
Okay, so we have NFL player Stanley Wilson Jr. passes away at 40. So I actually dropped that in the Discord. If you want to pull that up, please.
Definitely. Let's see here. Okay, here we are. So to our NFL player. And as you all can see, this is all in the Discord, so you can go click the links, read more about it. I love the comment section. You won't find me in the comment section all often, but I'm always there in spirit, reading it and laughing. But I find myself, I will also go back and forth with somebody if they try to comment back. So I tend to just keep my opinion to myself and enjoy it silently. But taking a look here.
Man, because people be getting triggered.
Okay. I'm like, look, boo-boo, this is Instagram. I'm not about to play with you.
The comments be more entertaining.
They do. So the link that I have here is from Instagram, where it says former NFL player Stanley Wilson JR. passes away at 40 after collapsing at a mental hospital. So, Chy, did you want to talk more about that?
Yeah, so I've seen that that happened, where you just had like Damar, where he had that incident where he fell out on the field, and then you have like incidents like this where that get attention of an NFL player being like in a mental hospital, and just kind of like, what was going on in that hospital where he just like collapsed? Like, how you collapse?
And you know what's
just
crazy?
Like that. No, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, when I was reading the comments, that's what a few of the people were saying. Like, oh, I work in those facilities. I would never send a loved one there because of that, the kind of wild, mistreatment. But then also, what even caused that kind of stuff? I think when it comes to the NFL and football players, there's been a lot of controversy lately with one, CT and like that whole illness that they say football players develop over time. And then also with this vaccine, and those that did get it and have been having health complications while playing. And so I definitely think it's concerning, that this is like, it was almost like when you first started talking about like black people getting shot by the police, right? And it was like one, and then another story. And it's like, now I feel that same way with like, oh, this NFL player passed away, and this one passed away, and that one passed away. And it's like, wait, what's really going on here? And why is everyone passing away so early? 40 years old? That's early. This is somebody that's supposed to be in fit condition, and like, what caused that at the end of the day for us to get to that point?
Exactly. And it's like, they create shows about mental hospitals, and you hear like the horror stories. So it's just like, the family probably reached out and wanted to get this broadcasted about this happening, because it's like, okay, y'all not about to sweep this under the rug and pretend like this is just, oh, he just collapsed. Like, and then the wording too is just, it's unbelievable.
That's what I'm saying. Like, wait,
he just collapsed.
Like, what? Like, he collapsed because of what? Like, what caused the collapse? What happened right before he collapsed? Like, that's what the story is supposed to say. And so it'll definitely be interesting as we continue to kind of see that kind of stuff continue to unravel. Just like we've kind of followed a lot of these stories, I think that's what happens, right? Like, oh, that comes out because now they got to get their story together, right? So it's like, oh, next time we see it, now we're going to see a little bit more of, how they want to kind of put it together. So very interesting. I know we got a few people in the house. Welcome, Mr. Abdullah, and everybody else here. If anybody has anything that they want to add about that, please feel free to unmute or add it in the chat. Well, I'll take a moment. Did anybody want to add anything that we've talked about so far with the NFL players, Damar Hamlin and his offensive or non-offensive attire, the Asteroids, Rihanna? No? Okay. Well, I know we got a few more topics on the itinerary for today. Chy, what is next?
So we have gifts for IG. I really love me a great gift. I'm not even gonna lie. I love sending those because it just really it gives like a dramatic reaction to like what you're feeling. I think that's the whole purpose of a gift. And you can send gifts to someone back and forth, and you guys will understand like the conversation and get it. But yeah, that was like really cool to see that they upgraded that model and
Do you have it?
how they're
I don't
going to
even have
integrate
gifts yet.
No, it should be integrated in your Instagram.
Maybe I need to update it. I don't see gifts on mine. I'll be excited because I'm with you on that. If I can reply in gifts, I'm replying in gifts. But I don't have it yet on Instagram.
Let me see if I can reply to like one of your posts. Let me see.
Yeah,
I'll go to it right now.
So maybe it's just mine. Maybe I just haven't updated yet.
I think you should. You should see it pop up. When
Well,
you go to messages,
okay.
then you go. I'm trying to see. I replied to somebody in a GIF. I know that.
Yeah, I think it's easy in a comment. I just don't have it yet. I think I gotta update it. So food for everybody. If you don't have your gifts either yet on Instagram, go try to update your Instagram. I know I'm going to try to update mine because I have not seen the option pop up yet. But I have heard that it's pretty cool. I've seen them in the comments. They look really cool. I'm itching to use it. And then, like you said, Chy, I think it's really cool to be able to incorporate that in just replies. And then, yeah, it makes the conversations a lot more interesting. Especially because, like you said, half of the fun on social media be in the comments. So I think that's definitely a great addition. And it's really interesting because you also can kind of see this war between social media, right? Where it's like, when they added those gifs, I'm like, this is giving me a little like Twitter vibes. And it's like you can see all these different social medias kind of like crossing and trying to use things that work well for others to like up the next one, because they also know a lot of people are also looking for decentralized social media. I know I just signed up for like 2 different social media platforms today, like Kick and also Social Club. And I'm putting myself out there, you know, trying to be early on these new platforms that we can really help come up, because these old ones is, you know, dried up. They already got their algorithms and their favorites, and it is what it is. And you know, we are there also because that's where people are, but we also aren't afraid to go with those that aren't afraid to try something new also. Especially another one that is decentralized, our own, shout out to Lens. We do have P2d RAW Demand, so we are on that official decentralized social media. And then also, I know Jack Dorsey, the owner of, or the old owner of Twitter, he actually has his own decentralized version of Twitter as well, that again, not many people talk about, but it's a decentralized version of Twitter. So, you know, I think also people have to realize, like, hey, these platforms are making these changes because they see the changes happening. And again, us as the people that are using it have a lot of power in which ones are worth it. And so, you know, don't be afraid to go and try other ones as well, because where the people are is where the value is.
100%.
Awesome. And so I haven't seen anybody else unmute. So Chy, what's our next thing on our itinerary?
Ice Cube reacts to Billboard. So let me actually.
Is that in the Discord? Let me see here.
Yes, it is.
Oh,
And it's actually a video. So if you want to play the video, we can hear Ice Cube talking about it. That'll be fun.
Oh, it's Hollywood Unlocked. They would definitely strike me. So we can't play the video right now because we are streaming on YouTube. But you guys can find the video in our Discord. So if you go to our Discord, you see under P2d RAW Network, we got our own channel, Raw Talk, where we got them. And this is where you can find it. But I definitely seen their top 50 list, and it was different. But I get where their categories and everybody got opinions. So Chy, did you want to kind of summarize what Ice Cube was saying?
Yeah, so basically he said I don't fuck with Billboard. They ain't hip hop, essentially. And you kinda agree with him, because it's like you see this list and you're like, it's a lot of different things going on here. My thing is like Ice Cube should at least be like top 10. I'd say that.
Let me see if I can even pull
Definitely
up.
impacted hip hop. Definitely impacted black culture and a lot of stuff Ice Cube was writing. So it's just like all y'all pretty much got y'all inspiration from him, really. Um, but I like Nicki Minaj top 10. No.
I got the list pulled up right here. It looks like top 10 for everybody watching. Number 1, Jay-Z. Number 2, Kendrick Lamar. Number 3, Nas. Number 4, Tupac. Number 5, Eminem. Number 6, Notorious B.I.G. Number 7, Lil Wayne. Number 8, Drake. Number 9, Snoop. Number 10, Nicki Minaj. And then, yeah, the list continues. And then I was watching one interview where they were saying they really had like a formula like they created. So I definitely feel Ice Cube when he says that, right? Because it's like, I think that's where the disconnect happens, right? Where you get these execs that like are the ones that are preparing this and planning this and like, oh, well, based on the data, then black people should like this kind of music if it has watermelon and chicken in it. But then you go into the neighborhood and it's like, nigga, you ain't even got no seasoning on your chicken. That's nasty. You don't want that. You know, there'd be a disconnect more of the story between, you know.
No, because I felt that.
You feel
I'm
me?
like, how did 50 Cent get over Ice Cube? How did Nicki Minaj get over Ice Cube? Like, it's just, and like you said, it's like a numbers thing. And it's just like whatever bullshit data that they pulled up is what they went by. And it's just like, I'll take that with a grain of salt with that list. Yeah. Because it's not even making any sense. And
that's why I said, you know, it's also based on opinion. Because, I mean, everybody, if you ask anybody their top 10, everybody's is going to be different. So that's why I was like, hey, if they trying to figure out some type of formula that they gauging that on, cool, respect. Right, it's algorithm also, and that's why I don't think that is fair, because they got a lot to do with also controlling that algorithm. You know, who actually won X amount of awards and who got X amount of plays. So at the end of the day, is that data even a true reflection of culture, or again just because you also put a lot into that, so you also got to get a lot out. So that's also why these kind of things help that. And that's again where there be these disconnects.
Very true.
Yeah, I see it as, like you were saying, like the algorithm, because it's marketing. Like all of this is like when they sit in the room and they're like, oh, we're going to drop this list, and then we going to have our outlets or our podcast people that we tied in with, that we get, you know, credibility to speak on it. And then it's like, that's how we watch an algorithm get built right then and there. Because then look how many people get fed. It's like, oh, now everybody's clicking an article. Now everybody on YouTube or Twitter or Twitch or whichever platform they use, they get to like monetize that topic. Like, oh, you seen Ice Cube? So it's just the game, and really understanding the business. Like, that's how you sell content nowadays. Like, it's not just recording and all that and then just letting the content go, but it's like understanding, like, it's like selling a magazine or a book or something. It just takes a lot more into it.
And that's raw. It takes a lot more than it used to for you to actually go out there. You can't just hand out your, you know, mixtape on the corners and think that's what's going to help you reach the masses. You got to know how to play the algorithm game. You got to know how to go create controversy after you drop something that get the people looking at you, and then you drop something. And again, there's formulas to this that people have really mastered. I guess again, they're the ones controlling and programming this algorithm, which I think is also really interesting when we talk about AI and algorithms. That again, we've used AI enough where we understand for that AI to produce what we want, we put the prompt in to tell it what we want it to create, you know. And then of course there's a little magic in what it actually puts back out, but we put that prompt in. And so again, that's why you have to know that formula so that you know what to put in, so that you also know how to get out what you're trying to get out.
I agree with that 100%.
And so that's
Because I had a client who, um, he was talking about music. He's like, man, like I remember how like music was made, like a group of guys that would just come together, and just make money and like put out music. But now you have like technicians and producers, and lawyers and different stuff like that, all involved in like different contracts where you're measuring like the beat per minute and basing that off like a cost of what you're going to charge the artist or you're going to charge the label for this time in the studio, and like how like money is being like divided up, and it's like it is now like a business, and it's not like a hobby of like, oh, we're just coming together just making music and just dropping it and hoping that somebody will catch on. Well, it's a more of a strategy that goes into it of like, okay, what voice do I want to have, and who do I have want to have as resources. So and he was a little frustrated. I was just like, well, I mean, it's a business. It's not like what it used to be where you just make music. It's a legit business, and people are in it to make money, not just like for the music aspect. And I think that's where he was just like, it's no um humanity to it, I guess.
Yeah, and the music game is tricky because if there's anybody like our age that's trying to get in music, like you said, there's a business to it where it's like they should not even see them as their age trying to be the face of it at this point, because music is a young man's sport. It's like you get better off, oh, now you know how to write a song or you know how to produce beats, going and getting behind a young person and being behind them and understanding that game and the business behind it. But our society unfortunately has fallen to this like, oh, everybody wants to be that person in the spotlight, and not focus on the business, and that's where we kind of run into this circle. So definitely interesting to see how the music game is evolving. I know a lot of rappers are getting locked up. They have this philosophy or this theory that says, oh, hip hop won't even be around much longer. So I definitely think it'll be interesting to see how, this kind of stuff continues to play out, because it definitely waters down the culture, I feel like, because we aren't getting as, the authentic and the realness like we want. And it all just becomes down to like TikTok songs and TikTok beats and like catchy little phrases. And it's like, not the same music that we grew up loving, listening to hip hop and Ice Cube and, real music that we can really relate to as a culture. So, did anybody else have anything that they wanted to share regarding that? Okay, so X and Tiny still in the house, cool. Chai. So what is still on our itinerary? I know we got a few topics left. Also, we have a few honorary topics at the end. So we got a few more to roll through. Chai, what's next on our list?
Okay, so we have, is it Marques Houston, 40, yeah. Wife 22, celebrate 3 years of marriage and 10 years as a couple. So
let me see this here. I don't even want to see.
Some things y'all just don't need to post about. Like, and think before you post. Fuck that dude.
Okay, so
always thought he was creep. That is funny.
So
everybody, yeah, because he gave up like weird vibes for sister. You remember he was homeboy Roger. He was go home, Roger.
Yeah, I guess that is where most of us remember seeing him from. I remember when he was in that, he was also, that's when he was going by like Batman. I think that was like his singing name when he first came out, like, oh, I'm little Batman or whatever. I don't even, it's so long ago. But yeah, I think this is definitely weird, because when I was reading the captions or in the comments here, and everybody was kind of like going at it, because they even pulled up, let me see if you guys can see here, if everybody looking at all the comments, you see R. Kelly, everybody locked up. The comments be cracking me up. But somebody had actually posted her missing. Oh look, somebody posted the go away Roger. But somebody had actually posted her missing thing, because she actually went missing at the age of 15. And then she popped up married to him at the age of 18. which I think was the craziest thing ever. Yeah, I'm scrolling through here. I guess a lot of people have been commenting ever since I sent it in there. But that was the craziest thing to me. Like, and I think Shiva even mentioned it in the Discord when we were talking about like this grooming, like in the fact that these kind of things come to the light. It's not even like abnormal, right? You know, Aaliyah went through that. Beyonce and Jay-Z, like this whole like grooming culture of these men who are in this position of power that see these young women and understand the opportunity and kind of groom them, you know, is very interesting, and it's crazy, and I don't like it because again how much older men be, and I just remember being young, and it's like you just don't make the best decisions when you're younger, right? Like no matter like how smart you are, you're still not mature enough, you haven't experienced enough to really even be able to make the best decisions. And especially as a young woman, when you fall in love with a dude and you just are willing to do whatever for that person, is crazy. And when I was reading her article about why she ran away, she was like she was given away in foster care, adopted, then on the run with her mom. So, you know, obviously she didn't have a lot of stability either. So again, it just comes out like, you know, like maybe they knew each other and it was like, oh, he cared for her. But then it's like, if you care for somebody, I think you end up doing it in a different way instead of like grooming them. I don't know. It's very odd.
I'd say like this has been going on since the dawn of time. Like it's right. Someone said something, I've seen it where it's like if you fail to learn from your past, you need to repeat it. And as women, I still feel like we have so much further to go in regards to like loving ourselves and knowing what like type of love that we need in order to, you know, grow and thrive with another human being. But also too, like loving ourselves and what that looks like. And when you have, and you can have like a father in the home, you can have like a positive father figure, but if you don't love yourself or you're being manipulated, it's very hard to get out of that. It's like what they said, it takes about 7 times before you actually finally leave, and that's an abusive relationship. So I can only imagine if this person is like filling your ear with all types of stuff, gaslighting you, making you feel like insecure to where you can be the only outlet that they can go to because they've isolated you from everybody else, thinking like, I'm the only person that loves you. Nobody else has your back like I do. You can only depend on me. And it is brainwashing you into thinking like, okay, this is love and this is how love is supposed to be. And it's just like, that's not love. He's manipulating you or she's manipulating you, because it can go for guys as well. Thinking that this is love when it's not. And then you wind up having 2-3 kids and you guys built whatever, and it's a hot mess from the outside looking in, but you're thinking this is where it's at. This is paradise. So it's been going on for forever. Sugar daddies, pimps, hoes, tricking.
And even before that, when you said the dawn of time, I'm like, man, they did used to sell their daughters and have them getting married at the age of 12, and then to these older men, and they were groomed at that age, you know, and pregnant at that age, and literally this is how our society has been. For, you know, we are the new era. That's why they always like, oh, these modern women, and I still call myself traditional, because I'm like, I still like, oh, my womanly roles and my man having his manly roles, and we coming together as a, you know, team. I don't feel like we got to be crossing too much in between, but it's like you said, I got you, you got me, But I was lucky enough where my husband, he's like maybe 2 years older than me, but he is still a lot more mature. And so that's why I say, it's really, I don't know, I can't call it because everybody's situation is different. All I can think about is when I was 15 years old, and if I would have come across a 30-year-old who already had money and was, trying to give me the world, like, you might think that it's love at the time, but at that point she was probably willing to accept whatever. And I think that's where the manipulation might come in, or the stuff that we're talking about, where it's like, we ain't even know about this whole situation until now, right? Oh, you got a baby and y'all like, we've been together 10 years, married, 3 kids, boom. And it's like, wait a second. Everybody's like, pause. We gotta check this out here.
They were in the comments talking about go to jail, Roger. I started screaming. I was like, what? Y'all stupid. But yeah, like it's been going on like for forever.
Aaliyah, like, that's how they got Aaliyah out of here. Aaliyah got married to R. Kelly. She was with Dame Dash. She was with Jay-Z. Like, this isn't new to our culture, unfortunately. R. Kelly in jail for that type of stuff right now. Like, unfortunately, like you said, it's not something new to our culture. But yes, it's never surprising though when we see somebody pop out there like, wait a second, you one of them. Hold up, I didn't know you was one of them. And I think also why that matters is, again, because he was so old and attracted to her when she's so young. And that's where this weird, like, pedophilia mindset comes in, right? Because even there's this one girl that I follow on Instagram who's now, like, an OnlyFans, and, she makes a lot of funny videos. But she's on OnlyFans and doing a lot of wild stuff right now because she talks about a lot of the wild stuff that she got into at the age of 15. And again, a lot of those things, it's like, again, think about when you was 15. If you sit in a room with a grown-ass man and he tell you start doing something and you start feeling uncomfortable, you don't always feel the most comfortable to say no. And I don't think men realize that, or others do, And that's where a lot of this stuff starts to build up, where now you do that and you think now you got to keep doing that. And then, again, it just starts to, spiral at that point. And so that's where, again, it starts to look at him funny, like, well, why was you even attracted to this little 15-year-old who was probably just like a 15-year-old, Like, it's not like she was like, oh, I got the most business sense and we gonna go take your music career up to the next level, because that's not even what they was on. They was just on it for we love each other, obviously, and doing whatever they want to do. So yeah, very, very interesting, very juicy. It will be interesting to see how that continues to unfold. I haven't seen anybody unmute. Oh, I see Tiny actually said, F that dude, always thought he was creepy. No, for real. And that's what happens. You start seeing the creeps come out, man. You start seeing the creeps come out, and that's what you start realizing, like, oh yeah, that is one of those creepy dudes. And the funny thing is,
they're putting out, like, in public, like, yeah, like, I did this. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah.
Right, that's what somebody was like,
it's like blatant, like, it's kind of disrespectful.
That's why people was like,
you putting it blatant, like, yeah, I got her. Right. What?
That's like one of the comments was like, you don't gotta tell everybody everything. Like, nobody knew y'all was together for 10 years. Like, what was the point of that? Like,
exactly.
Like, y'all got a kid, y'all married, cool. You could have been like, yeah, your kids, you've been married 3 years, your kid just turned however they was, cool. But no, you have to add the point, like, nah, but we've been together for 10 years.
It was blatant.
Yeah.
I think it was like, yeah, I'm doing this and I got away with it. What? What? What y'all gonna do? Nothing?
Well, now he gonna see what's gonna do, because culture do not be forgiven for that kind of stuff, And once you get kind of in that creep category,
you put out music anyway. So.
Yeah, exactly. And so yeah, I'm sure it's gonna dry up for him around there, and they're gonna really see. So I know we got a few more topics. Chy, what's the next one here on our itinerary?
Okay, so that was the
Oh, that was our
last one
last one
for
on
the
there.
itinerary.
Oh yeah, but we had two honorary
Yes,
ones. Let's see, we had Chris Brown,
yes.
and Blueface, cause y'all know, Blueface always knows how to work this algorithm, like we was talking about. Stay in the conversation, cause he don't drop a lot of music no more either. Yet he knows how to keep himself trending. So let's see. I don't. Did we did share that here in the Discord. Let's see, this all of us doing some math here, trying to figure out how old he was. Oh, actually, we didn't share it in the Discord. No, we didn't, because this is stuff we was just talking about. You're right. So, what had happened with Blueface recently is Chris Brown. So, Chris Brown recently. Let me think. What happened, y'all? I'm trying to think. So, Chris Brown was mad because somebody, a girl from what? From 3LW had called him out, and because he just put out this song with Haley, and he was like, oh, and she's like, oh, why y'all listening to Chris Brown and Haley Bailey? And he's like, dang, y'all still mad at me for something I did at 17 years old, and but y'all watch Blueface and Chris Rock every day, and y'all love them, and that's love. So then Blueface put on his chains and come on social media with his shades, and he's like, yo, bruh, you hating, you hit the wrong joint, you just gotta know, like, that's what you did, you gotta say that's what you did, but you do R&B, so I get you not trying to, stand on it, but, I come on here and I stand on mine, and that's why we rock how we rock. And I think that's also, he had a point, though, because in a lot of the comments, that's where you see that, like, no, Chris, you didn't just beat up Rihanna, then you also pushed Karuchi down the stairs, and she had to file the restraining order, and the other girlfriend had to do something similar. So it's like, it's a pattern, bruh. Like, at the end of the day, if that's the kind of stuff you be on, you gotta be on that. But every time he come out, he's like, nah, that's not what I'm on. And I can't say it, I can't 100% call it, though, because I've also been around nutty females. I will say that. And I've also been around nutty females who will kind of antagonize. And again, when it comes to this celebrity and spotlight and people always trying to go for that spotlight, I think, again, Chris Brown and Rihanna, who knows how their situation played out when they was younger and whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, if that's the role that, or the way that people kind of see Chris Brown, you might feed into that if you trying to, help feed into that, if it's going to help you in a sense, because we see that's what helped Rihanna get to the next level as well. So I think it's interesting when you kind of see both sides from it. I think Blueface made a good point, though, like, just, hey, if that's what, own up to that, move on. People that rock with Chris, people that don't. I seen he also made a bunch of Instagram posts like, F anybody who's still on that, don't mess with me, I'm trying to be on my thing. But I feel him, man, when it's been like a decade past and you still trying to, like, live your best life and people still bringing up old things, it's hard,
Old stuff. But it's just like, don't pretend. My thing is, don't pretend like you ain't this other person that you have in your head when your actions have reflected something else in reality.
Exactly.
So it's just like, yeah, you did what you did, own up to it, and move on. If people still want to bring it up, just switch the topic.
Right. I think Blueface made a funny joke. He was like, I get it, you want to be looked at as R&B, not R&B. It's like, bruh, you're killing me right now with your jokes over here. But it's like, again, that's why, because again, he is trying to appeal to that female audience, and every time he drops something, that's what the females bring up. And I think he got to have a different approach, because he always be on some get over it. And it's like, bruh, if you ever tried to tell a female to get over something when you did something, you should know that's not how a female's just gonna get over it, bruh. We gotta We got to have a different plan of action at this point. And like I said, I feel for him because he has dropped a lot of projects. He's had his own kids. Again, I can't call people as a person because who knows who these people is in real life. So I try not to speculate that. But at the end of the day, when you come to the public, just focus on what you got to focus on. And I know Blueface was like, man, that's like snitching, like, hey, just because you in trouble for it, don't try to bring me in your mess. And that's why he was kind of mad about it.
But Blueface been himself, like, since day one. Like, he has not changed up or been like, oh, I'm not this type of, like, he is who he is.
And I think that was a good point right there, because that's all he was telling Chris Brown to be, right? Like, bruh, stop trying to act like who you not, like, because then you get a lot more respect. And I think that's what you even just said, right? Like, because you can't come out and have this persona and then also have this other persona, because I mean, he does also have this like edgy bad boy, so it's like you gotta just find it, right? And I think him kind of pairing up with Haley Bailey is a funny match, because I think she also runs into that where it's like she's trying to become like this overly sexual person, but people still see her as like this weird young girl, and so them kind of coming together, I don't know.
That is so funny that you said that, because I'm just like, I get, like, Haley, she's fine. She's very attractive. But it's just like,
no, she freaks me out on social media, bro. She freaks me out on social media, bro. When she first came out on social media and she was doing all this like licking her lollipops and her bedroom things, it was just too much for me. I'm like, no, sis, I don't know what's going on here. I don't know who in your PR team said to do this, but this is not it. This is weird. And so, but that's what I said. Hey, people are trying to find their lane, because at the end of the day, they are people too. So, but they also got people in their ear telling them what to do and not to do, and we all just watching, talking about it. And I see X over here got a comment, so I'll let him share.
I think I just been watching a lot of like content now that we like evolving into deeper aspects of the network and the app and whatnot. So I just been realizing like everybody's algorithm chasing to my viewpoint. Like I can't confirm it, it's true, but it's like all this shit be bringing in revenue, or all these things bring in revenue. Like Chris Brown speaking, like they dropped the song during Super Bowl week because they knew Rihanna was like having her big moment. So it's like that was him bidding off of her algorithm. And then like you said, Haley trying to like get seen in that type of light. So they all was like, oh, let's bid off of that algorithm. You get what I'm saying? And Chris Brown probably seen that as him getting back in the graces. Because last time, if I'm not mistaken, Haley is tied in with that Rock Nation and all that other stuff. So it's like, you never know. They could have probably threw him a bone, since they did use his incident to create this Rihanna persona, in a sense, like this bigger than life, you know what I'm saying? Bad itch, all that type of stuff. So it's like knowing or viewpoint of that, and then seeing how many people talking about it on all the blogs, all the websites or whatever, and just now they get paid. Because now if you his next interview, like say he could have been slow for him on interviews, now somebody about to bring him on a podcast and so forth, and I just see like all the revenue being generated, and like that's just the world we living in now.
That's raw.
That's wrong.
That's raw right there, and that's what it all is, right? That's been the more of our conversation today. All of this, like algorithms, AI, like it's all in plain sight, and it's all strategic, right? We don't see anything by accident, and we just watching people that know how to use the algorithm and using it to their advantage, and they learned that you get more by doing backlash. Right. They figured out nobody watch TV anymore.
It's like that kick.com offered Aiden, one of the biggest streamers on Twitter, like 200 million to go stream over there, and that's crazy. Like it's NFL, like Lamar Jackson, an NFL player can't get 200 million right now. He been an MVP, a Heisman. Like they gave him 200 million for 2 years. When they get that type of money to black people, that's like a 10-year span, a 15. Hey, they don't. So streaming like is where it's at, and that's where all these people starting to see. Kodak Black came out earlier in the week like, "Oh, I'm about to start streaming." He meant that. Like, and this a guy that get paid $100,000 a show, but he can make that off the stream just in donations. If he got 200,000 people tapped into a stream, and people dropping $50 here, $5 here, $10 here, just to see it, like that's where they going with it.
Yeah, and that's where we at with it, right? Because that's, again, like you said, that's where we all going, whether people know it or not. That's where everybody's going, right? And sometimes the sheep have to wait until they're herded. Sometimes people see it and they, ain't no sheep, so they're gonna go out and can go and venture without having to be, shepherd in a sense. And I think it's, again, that's why we have these kind of conversations to really talk about the trending topics in a raw way where we can say, no, what's really going on out here with this situation, and talk about that. So yeah, that's an interesting conversation. Did anybody else have anything they wanted to add? Let me see if I see any more comments. Nope. Awesome. Now I know we got one more topic on the list, which was McDonald's chicken nuggets. And I don't even want to call them chicken nuggets because they don't got no chicken in them. So Chy, did you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, so it was a post. Let me actually, if I can put it forward, let me see if I can find it. And I posted it on my story. It says McDonald's launching plant-based chicken nuggets next week, and this was 2 days ago. McDonald's is introducing plant-based McNuggets made from peas, corn, wheat, and with a tempura batter. The new McPlant Nuggets are the second product the fast food giant has co-developed with Beyond Meat following McPlant Burger. While the popularity of plant-based products varies by market, availability of the new McNuggets in the future markets will depend on customer demand, according to McDonald's. What would you try these plant-based nuggets?
F no. First of all,
I don't even eat McDonald's at all.
McDonald's was my first job, and I love McDonald's. I can't even front. My husband over here looking at me with this eye, like, don't even fake on McDonald's, because yes, I like McDonald's, and I know that they real meat ain't no good. I don't know where they even get that from, but it'd be like made off however they put it together. But one thing I know is if that real meat ain't even real meat, I definitely ain't messing with they meat. They already letting people know it's not meat, because I don't think they getting nothing from wherever they talking about. It might have like a pinch of a pea and a pinch of a carrot. And I've also heard bad things about that Beyond Meat that they were having in a lot of other fast food restaurants and in stores, where it's just like dog food and like different things. And also, when it comes to that, I think we had a really good quote before where it was like, there aren't even chefs anymore. These are chemists who are creating that Beyond Meat stuff. And that's just, it's too much. And I think McDonald's is already like a stretch, and trying to go further with their like super artificial food is just crazy. I'm going to pass on that.
Hell yeah, I'm going to pass it right into the trash can, because who's gonna eat that? If I see somebody eating that, or they're talking about like, this is delicious, like, you already automatically suspect. Like,
bro, your stomach's gonna hurt. You already can't eat McDonald's without your stomach hurting. You eat them a 20-piece Beyond chicken nugget, you're gonna be messed up for a while. I'm sure of that.
For real, you gonna Beyond here. You gonna go to the Beyond shit. Like, no. Hell no. Like, as far as I go, I'll probably eat a McDonald's fries. I say if they fresh, like literally out the fryer into my mouth.
That's what Tiny just said in the comments too. I don't eat nothing from McDonald's besides fries if I absolutely have to.
That's my girl.
Listen,
my girl.
give me a
I'll eat
McDouble, a McChicken, some fries. Don't even get me started.
Don't even ask about the ice cream machine because
It's
broke.
you already know. And you know the sad part about it? Them ice cream machines don't even be broke. They just gotta put more milk into it.
They not, and we know it. Like,
no.
McDonald's, y'all exposed. Y'all employees are out here.
I'm trying to tell you, I used to.
Give me that damn ice cream cup.
That would be my. I'm telling you, people would hate when I would go to McDonald's because I would go in there like, oh, can I have a McFlurry with my friend? They'd be like, oh, the ice cream machine is broke. And I'm like, no, all you gotta do is go refill it. I'll wait. And they would be sick every time.
It's refilling.
I'm like, no, I don't mind waiting for you to refill it. I'll be in spot number 2. Bring my McFlurry and my fresh fries.
Exactly. Pronto.
I'll be in this car. But yeah, I think
in this long line.
You feel me?
And everybody gonna be mad because y'all here lying.
I don't even care because it's gonna be fresh and they're gonna appreciate it. But I think that also we were just having a talk like this in the men talk, and actually there was a clip that I had put in the let out from when X and AK were talking about that and 3D printing food, you know, and when we talk about these Beyond Meats and this plant-based stuff, you know, I think they're just getting a step closer to again that 3D printing and that kind of essence, because you already see McDonald's, they already got all the robot employees in there, and you know they've been took a lot of the employees out years ago and just had kiosks, and now they started adding the automated janitors, automated this, automated that, automated cookers. So you know, if they can also 3D print the meal, you put in your order, then it just prints right out. That's where it's heading. And so I think I might have to call it a wrap for McDonald's as well, because they just going too far. I think when I worked there, it was still the last of the good old days when they had their strawberry cream pies and, you know, the good things that was still in there. So
yeah, like the little, it's like a strawberry chocolate and a caramel sundae. The $1 caramel sundaes. Those used to be so good as a kid.
You feel me? That's what I'm saying. And that not again too far gone. So yeah, we're gonna have all of our eyes on these people though as they continue to try to push out this plant-based food. You know, and we're gonna be here talking about it raw, keeping up with it. But those are all of our topics for today. This has been a great conversation. I appreciate Tiny for popping in the comments, X for adding in your 2 cents throughout the conversation, and everybody watching, if you have anything that you want to add about anything that we talked about today, make sure you drop it in the comments, because we would definitely read them when we come back next week. Or again, join our Discord where you can also share anything that you see trending throughout the week that you want to talk about. We talk about it in the Discord and then bring it here on Saturdays where we're back live at 4 p.m. Pacific time. And Chy, is there anything else you wanted to add before we wrap this up?
No, this has been a great conversation as always. So we definitely want to see you guys here next week. And thank you so much for joining us.
Yes. Ooh, I actually remember one thing now. If you guys see this beautiful mug here on our table, so if you were to come into the Metaverse, you would get this free 3D version for your Metaverse space. Or you can also support the podcast if you like what you're listening to and buy a physical one as well. And if you come into the space, you can get a cool promo code to get free shipping on your mug. So support the podcast because me and Chy have a lot more in store. And yeah, we're gonna get into it next week. Peace.